Right now, in a home somewhere, someone is pouring their cat a saucer of milk. They're doing it because they love that cat. They saw it in a cartoon, they saw it in a picture book, their grandmother did it, and it has never once occurred to them that they're about to give that animal a genuinely miserable night. And that owner will never connect the two things. That's how this works. Almost nothing on today's list comes from cruelty. It comes from love, and from bad information we've all been handed and never questioned. Hi everyone, I'm Leo Bennett, your neighborhood cat guy. Today we're doing the 7 deadly cat sins. 7 things you should never do to your cat, counted down from bad to genuinely unforgivable. And let me be straight with you before we start, because I don't want anyone feeling ambushed. You are guilty of at least one of these, probably 2. So is almost everyone watching. My deal is simple. You don't have to be perfect. Just don't do all 7. Some of these you'll nod along to. At least one is going to stop you cold and make you say, "Wait, really? That one? Good, that's the one you needed." And sin number 1 isn't a mistake at all. It's a procedure. It's sitting on a price list at clinics right now, offered as a package deal, described with a word that hides exactly what it is. We'll get there. So let's start. Number 7, don't give your cat milk. And I already know what's happening in your head because it happens in everyone's. You're picturing the picture, the barn cat with the saucer of cream, the farmer setting down a fresh bowl. Every cartoon, every children's book you've ever seen. Milk and cats go together the way dogs and bones go together. It's one of the most deeply embedded images in our entire culture. And it is wrong. Cats are, by and large, lactose intolerant. Their bodies are not built to process dairy after kittenhood. I have lost count of the homes I've walked into where somebody says, "My cat has the worst digestion. The litter box situation is unbelievable. I don't know what's going on." And we start eliminating factors one by one, and there it is. The splash of milk in a saucer, the lick of ice cream off the spoon, the whipped cream as a treat. Now, here's the part that confuses people, and I understand why. Your cat probably loves it. Your cat may come running when they hear the fridge open, and you take that as proof it's good for them. It isn't. What they're chasing is the fat. That craving is real, but wanting something and being able to digest it are 2 completely different things, and your cat's enthusiasm is not a health report. The correct way. If you want to give them a treat, give them something built for a cat. There are plenty of options that will thrill them just as much without wrecking their gut. And if you've been doing this for years and you're sitting there feeling awful right now, please stop. You did what practically every human on Earth has been taught to do. Just stop today and watch what happens in that litter box over the next week or 2. A lot of people are genuinely shocked. Number 6, don't skip the annual vet visit. And I'm not going to pretend I don't understand why people do it. Cats go to the vet far less often than dogs. It's not close. And the reason isn't that cat owners love their cats less, it's that the whole experience is miserable. Your dog hears "car ride" and loses his mind with joy. Your cat sees the carrier come out and vanishes under the bed for 2 hours. Then the yowling, then the waiting room, then the guilt on the drive home. So you think, honestly, she seems fine, why put her through all that? But here's what that logic is missing, and it's the most important thing in this section. She seems fine because cats always seem fine. That's what they do. A cat can carry a serious problem for months and show you almost nothing, because in the wild, looking weak is how you get killed. So, "she seems fine" is not evidence of anything. It's just what cats look like. And cats change fast, especially once they're past 7 or 8. A year is a long time at that age. Even if it's nothing more than someone getting a proper look at their teeth, because dental disease is quietly one of the most common sources of ongoing pain in cats, and it's completely invisible from your couch, that visit is worth it. The correct way. Book it once a year, more often as they get older. And if the carrier is what's stopping you, fix the carrier. That's a solvable problem, not a life sentence. Leave it out permanently as furniture. Feed treats in it. Make it a bed instead of a trap. Cats don't have to hate the carrier. They've just been taught to, because the only time it appears is right before the worst day of their year. Number 5, don't dress your cat up. And here's where I lose a chunk of you, I know. The taco costume is funny. The little hat is funny. I've seen a cat in a tiny bow tie looking like the world's smallest gentleman, and I laughed out loud, so I won't pretend I'm above it. But let's talk about what's happening from inside that costume. A cat's body is a sensory instrument. Their fur is loaded with sensitivity, and it's not just the whiskers on their face. Cats have specialized sensory hairs across their body, and huge amounts of their spatial awareness runs through that system. That's how they judge gaps, surfaces, contact, movement. Now wrap that body in fabric, add elastic, add pressure that doesn't come from anywhere they can identify or escape. You haven't given them an outfit. You've given them a constant, inescapable signal jamming their most important sense. And that's before we mention that they can't take it off. So here's the question I'd ask you to sit with. If your cat got a vote, would they vote for the taco? And I know some of you are typing that your cat genuinely loves their bow tie. There are exceptions. There are unusually tolerant cats. And if yours is truly relaxed, then fine. But be honest about what tolerating looks like versus what enjoying looks like, because those are very different things, and cats are extremely easy to misread. The correct way. If you want the photo, catch them being themselves. A cat asleep in a sunbeam in an absurd position is funnier than a cat in a hat anyway, and nobody had to be uncomfortable for it. Number 4. Don't force interactions. Chester is sitting there, paws tucked, doing the slow blink. He is objectively the most squeezable thing that has ever existed, and every cell in your body wants to grab that face. Do not. Cats run on consent in a way most people underestimate. They have a personal bubble, and they want to decide when it opens. Every time you override that, every scoop up, every forced lapsit, every pin them down cuddle, you're making a withdrawal from an account you want to keep full. Here's the mechanism. Your cat is constantly building an association with you. Is this person safe? Is this person predictable? Does being near them mean I keep my autonomy? Force enough interactions and the answer becomes no, and the cat starts avoiding you preemptively, which is the exact opposite of what you wanted. And this includes petting. If your cat is a 3 strokes and done cat, that's real information, not a challenge. Overstimulation is genuine. The tail flicks, the skin twitches, the ears go sideways, then you get a warning chomp, and then people say, "He bit me for no reason." There was a reason. There were about 4 of them in a row, and they were all ignored. The correct way. Think about that friend. Everybody has one. They walk in announcing they're a cat person, that cats always love them. Then they march across the room and haul Chester off the couch. Does Chester like that person? He does not. Now picture the other kind of visitor, the one who sits down, ignores the cat completely, and waits. 20 minutes later, Chester is rubbing against their leg because it was his idea. That person is the cat's favorite human in the building. Be that person in your own home. Let them come to you. And bribery is fair game. Treats, invitations, a lap with something good on it. That's not forcing, that's negotiating. Now, right in the middle of a list of things you shouldn't do, here's one you should. Subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you'd think, and a surprising number of people who are sure they're subscribed actually aren't. So check, hit the bell, and let's get to number 3. Number 3, don't punish your cat. Ever. And I mean all of it. The spray bottle, the yelling, the swat on the backside, the flick on the nose, the thing thrown across the room to startle them off the counter. All of it. And I want to explain why this fails, because it's mean isn't the argument that changes minds. The argument that changes minds is that it does not work. Start with the spray bottle, because everybody thinks that one's harmless. Your cat scratches the couch, you spray, the cat runs off. Feels like a win. Here's what your cat actually learned. Not couches are bad. They learned that you are unpredictable and occasionally hostile, and that the object in your hand means something unpleasant is coming. That's the entire lesson. And you can prove it to yourself because I guarantee that couch is still getting scratched, just not while you're in the room. You didn't stop a behavior. You taught your cat to do it when you're not looking, and to be a little afraid of you the rest of the time. Yelling is the same trap, and worse because the tool is your voice. The identical voice that says their name softly at night now means danger. You can't put that in a drawer between uses. And here's the reality underneath all of it. For any correction to teach anything, it would have to happen every single time, with identical intensity, within about 2 seconds of the behavior. You cannot do that. Nobody can. You're not in the room at 3 a.m., so what you're delivering is random, inconsistent unpleasantness your cat cannot map onto anything except you. The correct way. Stop punishing the behavior and start redirecting it. The couch isn't the problem. The lack of a better option is. Make the couch unappealing with double-sided sticky tape on the target spot, then put a tall, sturdy scratching post right beside it. Not across the house, right there. You're not saying no, you're saying not here, yes there. That works permanently, and it costs you nothing in trust. Number 2, don't do anything to your cat for content. And I know how this lands because we've all seen the videos. The cucumber placed behind a cat so it launches into the air. The bath filmed because a wet cat is funny. The startle, the prank, the setup. And here's the thing, those videos work. They rack up enormous numbers, which is exactly why I need to say this out loud. When you put a cucumber behind your cat, what you're filming is not comedy. It's a genuine fear response. The animal thinks something appeared behind them without warning, and they're reacting the way an animal reacts to a threat. You are manufacturing terror in an animal that trusts you, and then editing it for strangers. And that trust is not renewable. Your cat's entire sense of safety is built on the belief that their home is predictable, and the people in it don't create ambushes. Every prank is a withdrawal from that. The correct way. Film everything. Please, film your cat constantly, but film what's already happening. The sleeping position that makes no anatomical sense. The dramatic yawn. The moment they misjudge a jump and pretend they meant it. Cats are inherently funny without any assistance from us. The rule is simple. If your cat would vote against it, don't do it for views. And number 1, the one I opened this video with. Never declaw your cat. And I need to clear up what the word means because the word is a lie. Declaw sounds like clipping. It sounds cosmetic. It is not. Declawing is an amputation, surgical removal of the last bone of each toe. You're not taking the nail, you're taking the joint the nail grows from. Now, I've heard every reason, and I want to take them seriously rather than dismiss them. It's my furniture or the cat. I have a new baby and I'm scared of scratches. I'm immunocompromised. It's this or I surrender them to a shelter. These are real worries from people who love their cats. So let me tell you what actually happens, because the outcomes are the argument. First, pain. This is a surgical amputation on 10 toes, and cats walk on those surfaces for the rest of their lives. Second, and this is what destroys the furniture logic, declawed cats commonly develop problems far worse than scratching. Litter box refusal is a big one, because digging in litter on newly amputated toes hurts, and cats make lasting associations. So, you were worried about the couch, and now you have urine on your floor. Third, biting. A cat's claws are their first line of defense, the warning shot before escalating. Take that away, and many cats skip straight to teeth. So, the person who declawed because they feared scratches around a toddler has often traded a scratch risk for a bite risk. And on the shelter argument, the data doesn't support it. Declawing doesn't reliably prevent surrender, because the problems that follow often become the new reason for surrender. You traded a solvable problem for a permanent one. This is why it's banned in dozens of countries, illegal in a growing number of US states and cities, and opposed by major veterinary bodies. That consensus shifted because of outcomes, not sentiment. The correct way. There is always a path through the behavior. Always. Trim the nails every couple of weeks so the points are blunt. Use nail caps, soft covers glued over the claw. Use sticky tape on the target spots. And most importantly, give them a scratching post worth using. Tall enough for a full stretch, sturdy enough not to wobble, placed right next to whatever they've been scratching. Scratching isn't misbehavior. It's stretching, marking, and claw maintenance all at once. And it's non-negotiable for a cat. Your job isn't to eliminate it, it's to give it somewhere to go. So that's the 7. And if you've recognized yourself in 2 or 3 of them, I'll say the same thing I said at the start. Nobody's asking for perfection. Every one of these mistakes is made by people who adore their cats. That's the common thread. The milk is love. The costume is love. The spray bottle is somebody trying to keep the peace. Even the declaw is usually somebody trying desperately to keep a cat they can't otherwise keep. None of it comes from cruelty. It comes from bad information a culture has been repeating for 100 years. So don't sit in the guilt. Just change the ones you can, starting today. Your cat isn't keeping score. They're responding, honestly, to whatever the world hands them. And the fact that you sat through a whole video about your own mistakes tells me exactly what kind of owner you are. So, tell me in the comments, which of these 7 made you go, "Wait, really?" And what would you add? I read every one. Hit like, subscribe, and send this to someone who's still putting out a saucer of milk. Thank you for watching, and for making the world a safer place for your cats.